Welcome to another episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your host, Eddie Arnett, my man, G Witt. Tighten up, man. Tighten up. G Witt is sad, I guess. Y'all watching my man downhearted. Tough
Tighten
game
up, baby.
today. Tighten
Tighten
up,
up.
man. Y'all come on into the show. Get comfortable, and because we got a lot to talk about tonight. After the week after is what I'm gonna title this show. The week after a tough loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, you knew the Titans were gonna have to come out and be ready to play early. You had a Bengals team that was 1-5-1 that just lost a tough game to the Browns on the last second pass from Baker Mayfield. Probably got the offensive rookie of the year in Joe Burrow. And so, you had to start fast and come out on this team and put your foot on their neck, if you will, and jump on them. But as you see, it didn't start that way. And, it's the same old song and dance. Like I said, 5-1 coming off a tough loss. And for the first time, I can say that the Titans have lost in Derrick Henry's career when he rushes for over 100 yards. So that was a first for the day. Big story of the game is the defense once again giving up 10 of 15 on third down conversions, leading the league a historical amount of conversions, over 60%, on pace to set a record for NFL history for the most third down conversions for the defense. And so coming in, G, you know the team had to start fast. The defense had to shore up stuff from the first half, the first three quarters of last week. We both admitted last week in the fourth quarter they played better football, but it looks like they reverted back to that defense that was in that first three quarters against the Steelers, and what we saw in the previous games as well. Your take, G.
What do you want me to say, man? No, seriously. I've been saying it all day. I said it last week. I think I said it the week before that. This defense, and Vrabel hinted at it at his after the game press conference. I don't know if they're going to do anything, but really at this stage, he and John Robinson, they got to take a look at their personnel groupings, and there are going to have to be some changes, man. I really, and I hate doing this, and we haven't done this in a long time, but no defensive player on the Titans should ever wear 33. Two players who have worn it have given that number such a jinx that you have got to exercise yourself from that. So I'll be honest with you. In my opinion, and I'm not the football guru or anything like that, but in my opinion, just looking at what I've seen in our first 7 games this season, the Jonathan Joseph experiment has got to be done with. If he's still on the team after Tuesday, there's something wrong with what they're looking at. Because even with injuries, he doesn't need to be out there. You saw today, especially you saw it in the second half, we're trying to mount a comeback. This joker doesn't want to tackle anybody. Eddie, been talking about it for years. We had the same problem with McCourty. Not Devin, but Jason McCourty. Mm-hmm. You got to explain to me, how is it that a veteran who's played as long as Jonathan Joseph has, see a receiver going up for the football and you allow him to land in bounds? Now, to prove my point on this, Malcolm Butler had the same situation with A.J. Green. Yeah. What did he do?
He went up and knocked the ball out.
He went up in the air. He pushed him out of bounds. Mm-hmm. Like, you may catch it, but you're not going to catch it in bounds. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm talking about. It's obvious after today. Jonathan Joseph doesn't want to be on this team. So to me, you got to treat him like you treated Carmelea Carrera. Let him go. Send him to Jacksonville. You ain't even got to trade him. Just cut him. But he's got to go.
He shouldn't even got on the plane to come
He should have stayed. I think he may have a house in Cincinnati. He should have stayed there. Vic Beasley. he's got to go. There comes a time in this season where you're looking at this team, and with the free agent signings that you've had, it's really time for the team to say, we got to cut our losses. You know, we're going to take a cap hit this year, you know, and explain to Amy, look, I hate wasting your money. You know, this is not my MO, but if we want to win, these guys have got to go. Jadeveon Clowney, how do you miss a wide open quarterback and you got a beeline to him? But what does he do, Eddie? What does he do? He went for the shoulders. Now, you know, you play defense. What part of the body can you always go for? It's always going to be there where you see it. The waist.
The waist, yeah.
Why is he going for the shoulder? Okay. Vic Beasley, you mean to tell me you can't look down the line of scrimmage and tell me you lined up in the neutral zone?
Not just once, twice.
Twice
on the same drive.
On the same drive. As far as I'm concerned, and I hate to agree with one talking head, but I got to agree with them. These are free agent signings that J-Rob and Mike Vrabel have to admit were mistakes. It's just bottom line.
Yeah, the free agent class of 2020 is probably the worst since J-Rob's been in command. Yeah. So,
well, as far as free agent gatherings are concerned.
Yeah, as far as they go. Right. Exactly.
And the thing about it is, we said this all summer, man. We said this all summer about Jadeveon Clowney. We said it. He's really not worth the signing. We said that from the get-go.
Hadn't even proved his worth yet.
He can't stop. He ain't even stopped him to run, let alone the pass.
And so what I see, not only does he not stay and contain, but now you see Vic Beasley doing the same thing.
Well, you knew Vic Beasley did it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but you see it out of both of them a lot.
Yeah.
And it's very
on the field at the same time.
Right.
And on opposite sides, and you're running into the same problem whichever way you go.
Causing the issue. Now, and I got to agree with some of these comments, girl. I want to get something in, man. You know, you got to blame it on the coaches. If you continue to put Jonathan Joseph out there in those situations where he's playing man-on-man coverage and he's 10 yards off the ball and he can't come up and make a tackle, it's coaching at this point. You got a guy out there that's struggling to even play any kind of technique. No.
Eddie,
yes.
Eddie,
yes.
He's not struggling.
Yes,
he's not struggling.
He's
not struggling. He doesn't want to play. He's just collecting a paycheck.
He's struggling.
He's not struggling.
He is. Watch his technique, Grover. He overruns. Yes.
Wait, hold.
Yes.
Struggling indicates effort. What effort have you seen out of him?
Bad angles, missed tackles.
No.
Wait a minute. Bad techniques. I'm gonna tell you. For example, on the reception, I can't remember the receiver. The receiver dives high. What does he do? He goes low instead of making a tackle because why? Bad technique. That's bad technique. If you got a defender, wait a minute. If you already got a defender there that's making a tackle, I don't know who it was, the linebacker, somebody already making a tackle, hitting them low, Malcolm Butler. Why go low and you got a guy there? All you got to do is stand up and catch him and make the tackle. That is bad technique. Bad technique all day long. That's bad technique. That's bad technique.
No. I'm not disagreeing with you. But I'm saying, you got to understand what I'm saying. The bad technique comes from the fact that he doesn't want to play.
Well,
let me. Okay. I'll give you my perfect example. All right. The last series of that they're on defense. They throw the ball out to the wide receiver wide. He runs over there, makes a little penny ante tackle. And what does he do? Gets on one knee, signaling to the sideline, send somebody in for me.
Right.
Okay.
At that point, yeah.
That's
at that point, he was whooped. Yeah, at that point, he was whooped. Right.
No. He didn't want to play from the get-go. This joker hasn't wanted to play football since the very beginning. He thought, in all honesty, when we signed him, he thought he was just going to be a situational player on third down, probably playing the slot where he wouldn't have to do much. But he's been called upon to play outside. It's not what he wants to do. He doesn't want to play. Therefore, he's not putting any effort. And what effort he's putting out there is, like you said, bad technique. So he doesn't want to play. Let's just be real about it.
So all right. So it comes a time you're a grown man, you're getting paid money. Now, if he don't want to play, they shouldn't even put him out there. So,
No.
but again, let's go back to look at some of the plays he made. And I hear what you're saying.
Did he make plays?
Again, let's talk about some of those plays. So on the coverage, perfect example. Malcolm Butler pushes AJ Green out of bounds, knocks the ball out of his hand. What does he do? Bad technique. He don't even swipe at the ball. That's bad technique. You're out there. You are a professional football player. You're making millions of dollars. You cannot tell me that you're not going to put forth an effort. Now, if he don't want to be out there, then you take him out. That's, again, I blame it on the coaches. The coaches are continue to put him out there.
Yeah.
Why not play Chris Jackson? Why not play Ty Smith? You know, those guys.
No. I agree with you totally, man, because the bottom line, I was sitting here in my house saying it the whole time. Take him out the game.
Right.
And I'm like what Jabbar tweeted on he asking the beat reporters for the Titans, did they leave Jonathan Joseph in Cincinnati? Right. Because they should have. Because he obviously don't want to come play for Nashville.
Yeah.
Bottom line, man. What other comments you got? Let's go. What other comments you got?
so special teams. Let's talk about special teams for a minute.
Oh, my God.
You know, last week we saw Bo Brinkley. He had issues with the snap. What's going on with Bo Brinkley? Again, he has a bad snap. It cost us on that play. You kick off after you score, and the Bengals get a huge return, which I thought they missed the holding call, by the way.
They
but
did.
Anyway, you know, the special team now. The play of the defense is so eroding on this team. It's trickling over to other areas of the game. And so Absolutely. Now you see it in special teams. Now you see it again in offense today, which we talked about for weeks now. If the offense can't convert, can't score, what's going to happen? And look what happened today. They scored 31 points, and we get beat to a team that's 1-5.
And here's the thing, Eddie. You know, since we're talking special teams.
Yeah.
Couple of things. First of all, I know that I can't be the only one who sees this. If you're going to have Gostkowski kick a field goal from any distance, I'm serious, from any distance, it doesn't matter if it's 50 plus or under 40, you line him up on the left hash, always. He cannot kick from the middle. He cannot kick from the right. You line him up on the left hash, always. That's where his bread. If you notice, every kick he's made has been on the left hash.
Right, because he pushes to the right.
The ones he's missed has either been in the middle or on the right.
Unfortunately, they can't play in that because, you know, I mean, you know, it just happens where the ball is. But yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Hey, bottom line is you start moving things to the left side of the line so they can line you up on the left hash. Let's be real about it. Second thing, what you're seeing on this coverage squad, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think it's more, I'm gonna say more fatigue than anything, and a lot of that has to do with injuries where guys are not able. Because the bottom line, look on that run that long run he had, they were late getting down the field. They were late getting down the field. Your gunners are not out there. You know, I don't know if Joshua Kalu is out there. You know, Dane Cruikshank isn't out there. He was your main gunner.
Right.
He was always able to beat the guy down the field and get down there and make the tackle and make him change direction to run him into the other team. The other thing that happened is that they lost their containment lanes. They lost their containment zones.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
So you see that. And again, I don't know what's going on with Bo Brinkley, but I'm with you on that. Something's going on to where he's had two games with two bad snaps. And you talking about a guy who's been snapping the ball for years with no problem.
That's right. Now all of a sudden,
something's going on with him. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm agreeing with you. The defense is playing so badly, it's starting to affect the rest of the team.
It is.
That's how bad this defense has been playing. And mind you, let everybody know, we've been saying this
from day one,
ever since the Denver game. We said they're going to run into an offense where the quarterback's going to be clicking, and with the way they're playing defense, they're going to get drilled. Because the offense isn't always, like we said, offense isn't always going to be there to bail them out. And that's what happened today. The offense finally had a bad day.
That's right. Finally had a bad day.
To bring them back into. They had the opportunities, but again, they couldn't stop them. Now, we talk about how bad they are on third down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how bad they are on fourth down.
That's even worse, right?
Fourth down, people are converting fourth down 100% on us, man.
100%. And you know,
if not 100, then 90%. I mean, and it doesn't matter about down or distance.
Right.
These jokers, you have them in fourth and long, and you only rush 3.
You rush 3 guys.
And nobody gets near the quarterback.
Nobody.
Now, we've said this years and years on end. It doesn't matter if you're a rookie or a 15-year vet. You give them all day to throw, they're going to pick you apart. And that's what happened today.
That's exactly right. You know, even with the I can't even call it pass rush. They're not running any kind of stunts up front. It's just man, oh man, I'm gonna try to beat you. There's no hiding the coverage. There's no disguising the coverage. You know, and it's it's like I said, it's affected other phases of the game. It's affecting the tackling because the tackling is bad. You know, you got Jeffrey Simmons playing some lights out football, in my opinion, and that's all we got. There's nobody. Well, you know,
Jeff, put like this. You know Jeffrey Simmons is tired because they converted 3rd and 1s up the middle on him.
Right.
And usually you can't do that on him.
That's right.
Really, and Vrabel will he's going to stand by his decision as far as not going out and getting a DC, and I understand that. You know, you made that decision. You got to stick with it throughout this season, but you got to man up eventually, and decide. I would say one or two things are going to happen. One or two things. Either he's going to have to man up and realize he made a mistake in not hiring a DC, or he's going to have to get out of the defense and let Shane Bowen do it on his own.
Right.
Because you cannot be in there calling defense when your defensive players are not playing. There's a disconnect on this team, especially on defense.
Right. And you saw it. You saw it on the last touchdown they scored. Jayon Brown, what is he doing? He's still talking and don't even know what the coverage is. Obviously, didn't know who he had in coverage. And he's late getting out there, right?
And he's late getting out there. On another touchdown, he missed his gap altogether.
Yes,
he went over there where Rashard Evans was, and his gap was the one the running back came through.
That's right.
The bottom line is, and they're killing our safeties. They're killing our safeties, man. Now, I mean, you know, Kevin Byers having people wonder how come he's not doing as much. He's having to cover too much, man.
Yeah,
he's having to cover up for Jonathan Joseph's lack of play. He's having to cover up because the linebackers are getting out of position. You got so many players out of position. I mean, and this has got to be driving fans crazy. The only player really that's consistently making plays on defense is Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler is playing some good football right now, considering.
I don't know what's going on with Rashard Evans. I'm not sure. But there's a disconnect going on with Rashard Evans. I'm not sure what it is.
It's the scheme, man. It's the scheme.
I don't know. I don't understand what they did because is the defense running through Jayon Brown this year, or is it running through Rashard Evans? Because it ran through Rashard Evans last year.
Well, I think it's Jayon Brown because on third down a lot, you know, you see Rashard Evans coming out, and so Jayon Brown has got the green sticker on his helmet.
Yeah,
and so you know. it's the scheme, the communication of the scheme, or whatever. It's not a good scheme. And it's not a good scheme. I mean, Vrabel could, you know, of course, naturally, you're going to see things on defense. When you look at the film, you'll see some good things. There are some good things, but the problem bad stuff is overwhelming. The good stuff.
Well, you know, that's what I'm saying. The problem you got, what was good things against Denver, against Jacksonville, against Minnesota, against Buffalo, against the Texans,
right,
are not good things.
No,
against the Steelers, and they definitely wasn't good things against the Bengals today.
The Bengals.
Now, that's the bottom line. Let's be real about this thing. You're getting ready to watch the Chicago Bears come into Nissan Stadium, and they might put up 63 on them. The last time the Bears came to Nissan, they put up 60 points on them.
Yeah.
And they may do it again with this defense that we got. Our offense can't keep doing what they've been doing. They can't. It's just not sustainable. Defenses are not going to allow you to do it. And you see what's happening with our defense. They're getting tired, man.
They are getting tired. They're on the field too long.
Look.
On the
hang
field
on,
too long.
They're on the field.
36 minutes of the game almost.
69 plays.
Yep. 36 minutes.
Plays.
36 minutes of time possession.
Yeah.
And so
come on, man.
69 plays.
You can't keep doing that.
That's exactly right.
Keep doing that.
Right.
You stop and look at it, it's just pathetic. I mean, Cincinnati was 67% on third down.
10 or
they
15.
kept that average the whole game.
The whole game, you're right.
The whole game.
100% on fourth down.
Yeah. But Joe Burrow was 26 of 37.
Right.
Now you think about that. I mean, come on now. This really what's going on with this team is not making any sense.
And you had a team that has given up 28 sacks to this point. Almost 4 sacks a game,
and we can't tackle them.
Playing with 3 backup offensive linemen and one that just signed last week, quitting Spain.
And we can't tackle them.
Oh, I know. Joe Burrow goes from a 10-yard loss to a 5-yard gain. Explain that one to me.
We can't tackle.
Explain that.
And again, I understand. Like I said, I understand Vrabel. He made his decisions, and he's got to stick with them. He can't piggyback on them.
Right.
But the bottom line is, you have got to do something to shake this defense out of this funk. And to me, your best bet is to do the same thing you did 2 years ago when you had a problem with receivers dropping passes.
You start getting ready to
the guy who dropped a sure touchdown.
That's exactly
and all of a sudden, everybody's catching the ball when it comes to him.
That's right.
Right now, you got to look at your defense and you got to say, okay, if nothing else, Jonathan Joseph and Vic Beasley have got to go. You got to look at it from that. You got to make a statement because Derek Roberson didn't play today, did he?
He had one play that I saw him on there for sure, and he had some pressure on the QB, but that's all I saw. That's all I saw.
David Long Jr., did he play?
I didn't see him at all on the field. Not on. He might have been on special teams, but he wasn't on the defense.
But see, that's the thing about it. These guys, you got these young guys who actually came in and made plays for you last season. You're not even playing them this season.
Right.
Because you got these free agents you done brought in who are not able to do the job. Let's be real about it, man. They're not getting the job done.
No, they're not.
And the bottom line is, forget what the talking heads are going to say on the radio. You don't care about them. You care about this team winning. And the bottom line is, you're going to have to face the facts that the free agent signings that you've made this season are not working out. They're not working out.
Right.
And you're going to have to let them go. Jonathan Joe, I don't care what anybody says, and I haven't said anything like this since really, if you think about it, since Michael Griffin. You got to let him go.
You got to. There's no doubt about that.
Right now, he's a plague on your defense. He's a plague. Because the bottom line is, he's causing everybody else to have problems.
Where my question is, where's the leadership on defense? Where's the person that's going to stand up and get everybody together? Bring the team up on the sideline when the defense is on the sideline and talk to everybody. You hadn't even seen that. And for it to be, here we go, week 8, and we still talking about communication problems, that is unacceptable. This is a professional football team, professional players, coaches, guys that's been in the league for a long time, coaching wise, and some guys with experience on defense, and you are still having communication problems. And
they're not having communication problems. I'm telling you what they're having. They're having effort problems. It's all about the effort. And what you have right now, you have players who are not giving effort. Everybody's having the. I'm telling you, when you got one player, this is a team, 11 players. Mm-hmm. But when you got one player who ain't putting forth effort, it affects the whole defense because now everybody's got to rush to cover for him.
So, and that's what I'm saying. So a leader would call that person out and say, "You're not putting forth no effort." That's what I'm saying. We are missing the leadership on the defense side of the ball.
Coaches,
well, that too, but
tell them
that too.
He's got to go.
That too, but I'm gonna get in your face if I'm a leader, and I'm gonna say you need to give the effort. I'm gonna lead by example first, and then I'm gonna tell you that you need to put forth the same effort. And I'm gonna tell the coach. That's what the leaders do, right? And we don't have anybody doing that.
You know what's going on right now, though, Eddie, in all honesty? You see all the other players putting effort. Like I said, you blame what he's doing on technique. I'm telling you, his technique is bad because he's not putting forth effort.
Same thing for Clowney and Beasley. Bad technique, overrunning stuff. I mean, it's all over the field, right? So now you go back to the coaches. What are they doing in practice? What's going on in practice?
Here's my thing. Right now, here's what you got. Because, the question was asked, was it a bad week of practice? And the answer is no. You had a good week of practice. But here's the bottom line. What you got is people coming in the games not doing the job. They're freelancing, they're not paying attention, and they're not putting forth any effort. So the bottom line is, to go back to your point on coaches have got to be man enough and say, Coach, this guy cannot stay on this team if we hope to win. Or if you're going to keep him on the team, you put him on the bench or you inactivate him. Make him a healthy scratch.
Do something.
Do something, because you have got a defense right now that's in such disarray. One of your best players on the field is not able to give his best effort because they're double teaming him on every snap. Jeffrey Simmons is getting double teamed on every snap.
I'd double team him too.
I mean, you why not? Because ain't nobody else gonna do it. Ain't nobody else gonna give up to Davian Clowney. You come scot-free up the middle and you can't tackle the quarterback. I'm sorry, you didn't give effort. You didn't give effort, man. Bottom line is, and so you got me on this roll, man. You can't do this.
No, I didn't do that. No, time out. No. You were on this roll during the whole game. So don't blame it on me. Don't blame it on me. You were already fired up before we even came on the air.
Well, okay. Here's my question, and the people who are listening in, they can just be honest. Am I lying?
No, I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying you're lying.
I'm just saying.
I'm agreeing that
I'm not telling the truth.
It's some deep rooted issues with effort and coaching and technique is a whole lot of things. So and what Vrabel needs to do is man up and say we're not coaching these guys and we got guys not giving 100% effort instead of him. Oh well, it's not a communication problem. No, it is a communication problem. And when you realize that your team is about to quit on your defensive side of the ball is not putting forth the same effort as the offense. Today I saw something that I really liked, and I don't know if you noticed it or not, but Derrick Henry got mad at Sembrilo because he missed the block.
Yeah,
and not just one time. And so that's what I'm saying. You need people to start getting in people's face and say, hey man, you missed that tackle. You overran your gap. You missed your assignment. That was bad. Whatever the case may be, you need that more out of this football team because right now there's nobody stepping up doing that. Well, and so when you get that leadership, that starts with the improvement right there.
Yeah, and the fact you got to tell your offensive coordinator quit being cute.
He got to. He's got to stop being cute.
Quit being cute because understand really how your offense works. Now I understand you trying to run things and try to keep defenses off balance. But the bottom line is when you got a house who's ready to run and he's running and he's being effective with his running, it's a difference when when you're not being effective. I get that. But when you're effective running the ball, the bottom line is you don't stop running.
Right.
You run against 7, 8, you run against 8 and 9 in the box and you still getting 4 yards of carry. You still getting chunks of 10, 12. You don't stop running. You beat them down with the run.
You had a defense that was one of the worst in the league in rushing, and you only had 5 carries through the first quarter and a little bit into the second quarter until that last drive, that long drive, right?
Because you want to establish the pass.
That's right.
But you got to run first.
Got to run the ball first. And you saw what happened on that drive, right? That's the touchdown drive. 7 runs, and they crammed it down their throat.
Yeah, you 75 yards. Mm-hmm. You ran the ball on every play. And right down the field. Now you get ready to play against a team like Chicago, you ain't gonna be able to do that against.
That's right. And I agree with you, Jabbar. Running the ball controls the clock and keeps your defense off the field. And
your last place defense.
Right, your last place defense.
Let's be honest about it. That defense has got to be 32nd in the league, which I'm gonna call it out because I said it this summer, and I'll say it again. The last time Mike Vrabel was involved in defense this heavily,
it was last in the league.
DC and Houston, and they were dead last in Houston. We saw it last year or year before last, when Dean Pease got sick and had to leave the game in Indianapolis, he took over calling the plays, and they got blown out. Mike Vrabel has got to stay off the defense on game day. It's good for planning. It's good for setting things up, but you got to let the person calling the plays call the plays, and you stay out of it.
Got to. Maybe, I mean, they got Jim Haslett. I'm not saying he's the answer, man, but he's better than having nothing. And maybe they need to start to incorporate some of his knowledge into the defense, because right now, everything that's being done is worse.
I'm going to say this. I don't know if Jim Haslett is the answer, because remember who he's coaching.
Right.
He's coaching the inside LBs.
Right.
And the inside LBs are not having a good season.
But at this point, though,
they are not having a good season.
At this point, you got to do something. Because guess what?
I agree.
Because guess what? You got the Bears, you got the Ravens twice, you got the Colts, and you're looking at possibly 4 straight losses coming up here.
Absolutely. You talking about you're talking about 4 straight losses. You're talking about being 5-6.
Yeah.
After today.
That's right. After today. That's right.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. You're exactly right.
That's right.
You're exactly right.
he's got to do something, man. He's got to swallow his pride and say, hey, I messed up, and let's rein in the horses and try something different, because it's baffling to me to see.
Well, and again, you got to get on your team, and again, you got to show them the same leadership you showed them your first year, when your receivers were not catching the ball and God missed a wide open touchdown. You cut them. You put it like this, when you're the head coach and you tell the defensive back to move up to cover like he was against Houston, and he doesn't do it, he should have been cut right then. But you let him play 2 more. You let him play 2 more games, and it's just like Parrish Cox. Remember him?
Somebody brought up Parrish Cox on the comments.
Yeah, it's just like Parrish Cox. You got to let him go. He doesn't want to. He's ready to retire. Let him retire. Tell him your services are no longer needed, because you're not putting forth any effort. You don't want to tackle. You don't want to cover. We're going to let you go. You can go ahead and go into retirement. You had a great career.
Dion says call Pease and begging for half a season.
Pease is not coming back.
I know.
Pease is not coming back.
Now,
now, and here's the thing. Right now, J-Rob's gonna have to be the man to come up to Mike Vrabel. They're gonna have it out, man, because somebody's gonna have to point this thing out to him. Like, dude, whatever you're doing in practice, whatever you're doing in these team meetings, it ain't working. And that's bad English and all. It ain't working.
I mean, that's basic. That's basic.
Again, we said this after the Denver game. We definitely said it after the Denver game. If they keep up like this, they're gonna run the quarterbacks that's gonna pick them apart.
You saw it the last 2 weeks.
And the bottom line is, and we said it in the summer, Clowney will not make that much of a difference in pass rush, because he's not a big sack guy. He's quote unquote supposed to be able to play the run, but we haven't seen the fruits of that labor yet either.
No, because he jumps inside
Vic
too much.
Beasley was supposed to be a pass rush guy who didn't play the run. Right now, he's neither.
He can't even line up on sides.
Can't even line up in the neutral zone twice on the same drive. Kept drives alive.
Guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie LG with Titans fall to the Bengals 31-20, fall to 5-2. In the tie for first place with the Colts. The Colts beat the Lions today 41-21, and the other 2 teams were on byes.
And so we're only ahead of the Colts because we got the better division record, but we're not ahead of the Colts.
No, we're not ahead of the Colts. On the bright side of things, though, you like the bright side. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You like the game that Corey Davis put forth today, man. He made some outstanding catches. The one tip when he tipped the ball and caught it with one hand, that was great. You like to see that, and thankfully Adam Humphries got about the field. That's positive side. Even though he had a concussion, he got hit. But like I said, the offense is struggled today. Should have ran the ball way more. Derrick Henry only had 18 carries. We know that's not enough. 25 carries, you got to get the man 25 plus carries. And even with Deontay Foreman, he was running that pill great, man. He was averaging 7 yards a pop. McNichols was averaging 12 yards a pop. But man, at the end of the day, 27 carries by the 3 running backs, and they were eating. And I just, I don't understand why Arthur Smith was so bent on getting the passing game going when you got a run game that was dominating the football game, getting you back in the game and establishing your dominance, but yet you try to get too cute.
All
right. So look, the Titans got 441 yards of offense and lost today. But hey, we got to move on. We got the Bears coming to town, and we got to. It's still a lot to play for. And speaking of Bears, I got a Bears fan that's about to come on to join the show. They want to talk a little bit about the Bears tonight and what to expect coming into the week. So let me bring them in. And
who's this?
Let me bring them in. Bring my guest, the guest for the night, a Bears fan.
Who is this?
Let me see. Hold on. Here we go.
What?
Here
no, man.
Here we go.
No, we can't go through this.
Here we go. Let me
we
see.
Can't go through this,
turn your camera on now, sir.
So I need your help.
Turn your camera on, sir.
See, he don't even know how to work the camera, man. Come on, you can't.
Hey, I'm gonna mute you until you get your camera on, okay? But anyway, so man, a tough game. Get ready to come up against the Bears. Another top 10 defense. Okay, here we go. Another top 10 defense. Coming.
You gotta take him off mute, man.
Yeah, I'm getting. Another top 10 defense. He's unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, man. And welcome to the show, Mr. James Wells, man, a Bears fan. He wanted to come on and talk about the big matchup next week in Nashville. He's one of the best number one fans for the Bears, man. And he wanted to come on and just discuss a little bit tonight. And welcome to the show, James. How you doing, man?
I appreciate that, man. I'm doing good. What's up, Chuck?
So, man, a tough loss for the Bears today, too, in overtime to the Saints, man. What do you expect to see when they come to Nashville next week?
I'm expecting them, hopefully, that we can contain the beast. All right. But honestly, we need to make y'all one-dimensional. And by one-dimensional, I mean making Ryan Tannehill throw the ball. Because, of course, our run defense has been suspect all season. But, once we get in that red zone, man, we good. Play action hurts us really bad. That's something y'all do really good. So if we can contain Henry to 2-3 yards, that keeps y'all at 4th and 2, which will force Brable to either try to gamble or punt the ball, which plays in our favor. So that's what I'm hoping to see, if we can make y'all one-dimensional.
Yeah, and I had to give credit to Raekwon Smith. He seems like he's playing at a Pro Bowl level this year, man. He's all over
playing
the field.
lights out today.
And you got that middle of the defense established now with him, and you got Khalil Mack, of course. You can always count on him, and you got Jackson in the secondary. And so you got a really stout defense coming to Nashville. That's good tacklers. You got to admit, man, there are some good tacklers out there as well. Unfortunately, they came up short today because of some miscues here and there. But like you said, it's going to be a tough football game. If they can make us one-dimensional, it's going to be a really tough football game. But my concern, I know Grove's concern, is not the offensive side of the ball per se. It's the defensive side of the ball. And so, in your opinion, how did you guys stack up on the offensive side of the ball going against this last rated defense of the Titans?
Well, I mean, y'all third down defense does give us hope. I feel like Matt Nagy, they got to get a little more creative. They definitely got to get the ball out of Nick Foles' hands quicker, because we down 2 offensive linemen now, maybe possibly 3 with Massey getting hurt today.
Well, we know that don't mean nothing.
But with that, y'all saw, man, if y'all watched that Bears game down the stretch, we wasn't able to move the ball once those linemen went out. And then, of course, Nick Foles gets sacked 4 times on 4 possessions, and those are huge. So hopefully we throw a lot of short, quick passes. We got speed, we can definitely be explosive, but he can't hold on to that ball, man. And Clowney should be able to get off with the fact that our D-line, our offensive line is decimated right now. So we just got to get the ball out quick. That's what I'm expecting.
You know, I would almost agree with you, but there was the same situation today
You said the
with the
wrong
Bengals.
name.
Right.
You
Look,
said
look.
the wrong
The Bengals
name.
were in the same situation today, playing with 3 backups, and there was not even a whiff.
Actually,
There was a whiff of a sack.
They played with 4 backups. They had 4 new
backups.
guys on that offensive line.
So, and one that was
they
just
were able
signed
to
last
run
week.
the ball and protect the quarterback.
Right.
No, seriously. On all honesty, when you look at the Bears on both sides of the ball. For us, we're going to run into an issue, in all honesty, with that Bears front, because the bottom line is what you're running into with our offensive line is that you have one tackle who's slow, and you have one tackle who has just bad technique. Let's just be real about it. He's okay running and run support, but you saw today he struggled.
Yep.
You know, he's not very good in pass protection. So with the way Chicago rushes the passer and everything, even with their front 4, it's going to be a difficult task for us. And we're going to see some situation where Derrick Henry is going to have to stay in on second down and make blocks, and he can't afford to miss them. But Tannehill will get sacked. We might be able to run the ball effectively on them, but I don't know, because Chicago's defense is good. You know, I give credit where credit's due.
And you got to give them credit too. You got to give them credit too, because they don't blitz that much.
And our defense is weak. Let's just be real about it. You know, normally I was put like this: if this was the defense we had last year, then I would look at this and say we have a good shot because we're able to get pressure on the quarterback. Dean Pease knew how to manufacture pressure to get there, and players seem to always get there. This year, that's not the case. With our secondary being as bad as it is, and linebacker play being as poor as it is, you know, they're not trying to blitz as much, and therefore we're not getting to the quarterback. And with the ones we got, there's nothing. We should have really, our trade should have been Kamalei Correa stays here and Vic Beasley goes to Jacksonville.
Right. Because at least he could get to the quarterback and stop the run.
At least he knew how to, and more importantly, at least he knew how to play the run.
That's right. He set the edge. That's exactly right.
Now, the one thing I will say, you know, I'm not a big Bears fan, but I'm a football fan. So I call it like I see it. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I see it. Right now, with the defense playing the way they are, I don't know if the Titans can beat the Bears.
Here's what I say. I'm the same way. Of course, I'm gonna rep my team, but our tight ends, Jayon Brown, like, it's gonna be a game for him. All right, because again, check down. You take Jimmy Graham away with Jayon, and then Rashad Evans, get him matched up against Cole Kmet. Then it's a wash with Malcolm Butler. They'll probably put Butler on Robinson. Now,
more likely.
It's going to come down to Anthony Miller, which I'll take him all day over what y'all call him, Slow Joe.
Yeah, Slow Joe.
I'll take that.
I call him No Joe.
But again, if our offensive line can hold and Matt Nagy don't try to be cute, we get it to our speed guys, then yeah, we'll be fine. Now, what scares me on the other side as a fan is Cal Fuller versus Brown. Because if we're not getting pressure, like, he eats off of that front 7 pressure.
Right.
If we're not getting pressure, then he gonna have like 300 yards receiving, because I personally feel like Cal Fuller a bum. I love my team, but he gives up too many big plays. He gets penalized a lot on deep passes, trying to keep up. So, you know, that's going to be the key for y'all. And I will also say y'all need to find a way to get Khalif Raymond involved in that slot.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just because, again, just looking at how we match up, because if Cal Fuller getting beat to sleep, our rookie Johnson, he gonna have his hands full with Davis, and Skane, man, that joker sucked too in the corner. It's just, you know what I'm saying, once you get to our third, fourth DBs, man, like, you gotta, if Derrick Henry doing this thing and it's a wash across the board, man, Khalif Raymond gonna be huge for y'all.
Well, you know, Khalif Raymond has been dropping some footballs, and you see now he don't even get that much action in the lineup. You know, Adam Humphries, even after he got hurt, you really didn't see Khalif Raymond on the field as far as in the offensive sets. And so, but yeah,
he's going to have
to
play now because
he's
Humphries won't be, more than likely will not be in the game. If he, I look from the Vrabel is very big on player safety.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for Humphries to be in the game against the Bears. Really, again, with the front four that Chicago has, their front four, with the way our offensive line, and we may be down Roger Saffold now because he got hurt today, and I don't think he came back in the game.
He came back.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I must have missed that then. So I was too busy complaining about the defense to see it. But seriously, in all honesty, we can score. We can score. That's not a problem. Our problem is we can't stop anybody from scoring. Right. And that's what the issue is. And it's not just red zone offense. It's just all over the field. When you can't put like this, when you stop a team on 3rd and 8, hold them to 4, and they go for it on 4th down consistently, that means your defense really isn't that good. Exactly right. That means your defense just isn't that good. And they didn't care if they gave up field position or not. So that just goes to show you your defense has no respect in the game right now. None. Nobody's respecting your defense. You know, the Bears, they don't blitz a lot. They were bringing it up on the game tonight. I didn't realize that, but because they get a lot of pressure from the front four. Exactly. And so if they're able to do that next week, then, you know, they can double team A.J. Brown. They can do different things in coverage. And so that'll make it a difficult game plan for the Titans if they can get away with that, rushing just 4 guys and not getting pressure. And one thing you noticed tonight, in all honesty, with the Bears defense, you notice their linebackers are pretty good in coverage. Their linebackers are great in coverage. Yeah. So you don't see tight ends, our tight ends, except for maybe Fursker, who's able to get down the field a little bit further. You really don't see a lot coming from our tight ends going against their linebackers. Again, Fursker's a better route runner, so yeah, his feet are better than I would say Jonnu Smith. But that's what you're going to see. And like you said earlier, man, the Bears defense tackles well. Yeah. Tackle extremely well. And we don't. So, guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your host, Eddie Arnett, my man G. Witt, our special guest, Mr. James Wells, Chicago Bears fan. James, you got to come back next week, man. After the game, we'll talk, man. Win, lose, or draw.
Absolutely, man. I hope it's a win, man, because I got a bunch of memes that I'm planning on using. And I tell Mariah, man, it's not fun when both teams win or when both teams lose, man. Somebody got to, you know, so next week we'll next week is the rubber match. Yeah. Somebody got to win next week. So hopefully I get to use my memes, man. You know, here's the thing, man, in all honesty, and I have to tell this to everybody, I support my team 100%. I'm always going to be with them. I'm always going to rep them. But I'm a football fan. I got to call it like I see it. And right now, I'll be honest with you, unless something changes dramatically, next week, if we win, it's going to be one of those games again, similar to what happened to the Bears tonight, where you go down the field, it comes down to the last plays and everything. Because hopefully not a field goal. No, not for us anyway. And the funny thing about it is, like I said, it's just one of these things where you see it. It's going to be really, our weaknesses are starting to come to the forefront. You can't win if you can't stop them from scoring. That's just the bottom line. And right now, we can't stop anybody from scoring. And the offense is going to have to score on every possession they get. Everyone. Man, we ain't scored more. Look, I think we hit 30 one time now against the Falcons. So, you know, but on the flip side of that, the most we've given up is 26. So we'll be fine. I got keys, man. I came prepared. I got 3 keys. Oh, go ahead. Get your keys out there. Go ahead with your keys, man. Go ahead with your keys. All right, so defensively, man, like I said, we got to make Titans one-dimensional. 2, we got to get off on 3rd down because we do give up a lot of 3rd downs. And then 3, man, we got to limit big plays on play action. Like I said, play action kills us. So we got to limit that. Offensively, we got to extend drives. Number 2, we got to protect the ball. Nick been friendly, giving it to the other team. Yes. Yeah, we got to stop trading field goals for touchdowns. So, you know, instead of we get down, we make drives. Like Shaw, I think he hit 2 50-yard passes tonight, and both of them ended in field goals. So we got to get the ball in the end zone, man. And that's my keys for next week. We'll see what happens, man. Okay, prepared. That's good, man. Thank you for coming on the show, man. Hey, thank you guys for joining us and the love and support of the show. Eddie Arnett, my man G. Witt, our special guest, James Wells, #1 Bears fan in the whole wide world. Join us next week. We'll be back for another live. Bet out, baby. Episode. Bet out.
of halftime adjustments here live. We'll talk about the game, win, lose, or draw. We'll be here, baby. We'll be here.
That's right.
But thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. Share the show. You can get us out there if you like it. And man, we just appreciate all the love and the comments tonight, man. So, A-Down-L-G with my man James Wells down there on the bottom.
Tighten up, baby.
Bears #1 fan. We out of here. Peace.
Bear down, baby.